How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Mullen Automotive. It ended up being down just over 21% on the Friday. So many people are asking me questions. Is it over? Is there anything left in the stocks? You know what? We'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch its full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis from Mullen Automotive. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $2.35, being down 21.67%. On the low, it tested $2.26, and then on the high, testing $2.90. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 183.601 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 317.215 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, and it's part of the reasons why we've seen some weakness in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 53.19. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, but we are above the 21-day EMA and as well as the 50-day. So you can see Mullen has been on quite the run. We had a pop above 4, and ever since then, we've been dealing with a large amount of selling pressure. So if this pullback does continue for this coming week, I want to see if we could hold support at $2. If we can't hold support at $2, then I'm going to be looking for us to actually fill in this gap to the downside, which is right here around $1.79. So this is something you're going to want to keep a close eye on, because if we fill in that gap, we could have buyers that want to step in and we could push this price back above $2. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for a reversal, of course, the breakout level would be at the high of what we saw on the Friday. So the moment we have some price action above 290, I'm looking forward for us to be able to make that move going right here to around 331. This is definitely achievable, and if we have more buying that is coming in, then after I'd want to see if we could break through this area of resistance right here around 364 to see if we can make that move to $4. But we know $4 will be a psychological area. Many people would want to sell because this has happened previously in the past. This is why I said buying volume is very key here for this play. So let's see how it performs for this coming week, and let's take a look at the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Mullen Automotive. So for the off-exchange short volume ratio, it's at 31.28%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 35.33 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 400,000, updated 21 minutes ago, and then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 20.80%. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume for the close of the 24th, it was at 36.81, and then for the close of the 25th being at 31.28. So we do see a significant decrease right there, so we'll continue to keep an eye on that. But one thing that remains the same, Mullen does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Mullen. So we can see on the inflows at 91.48, on the outflows at 90.41. So what this shows us, it's an inflow day. And keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. On the large, it is 28.96. On the medium, it is 50.84. And then on the small, it is 11.68. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it's at 35.88. On the medium, it is 44.18. And then on the small, it is 10.35. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for the past 5 trading days, they have all been outflow days. So a lot of selling that is happening. And for the 25th, for the Friday that just passed, it was a negative outflow of 6.92 million. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. But then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 525.44%. And this is not a shocker when it comes to a stock like MULN. We know there's a lot of traders inside of play, plus we know there's a tremendous amount of selling pressure that is happening since the stock has been on a downtrend. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Mullen Automotive, when it comes to the price action, since we closed Friday at $2.35, if we end up seeing a pullback even further, I want to see if $2 can hold. If it cannot hold, then I'm expecting us to fill the gap to the downside, which is right around $1.79. And this is where I could see buyers wanting to step in. If they don't, then the pullback will continue. But of course, I do videos quite regularly on this channel, and I'll let you know as far as what it's going to be looking like if that happens. But again, the gap could get filled for this week. We also have to understand they do have earnings that is coming out on March the 30th. So this could be a catalyst to where we might see some more buying coming into the stock. But in order to see a reversal and see some strength in Mullen again, we need to get above $2.90. And upon passing $2.90, of course, we need to get back above $3, which we could see some more sellers. But that key level that we want to get to and actually close at would be right around $3.30. Because I feel if we get that and more people start buying in, then we can get that push going to $4 prior to earnings. I'm not guaranteeing this is going to happen. I'm just telling you guys the bullish case scenario. The bearish case scenario is that pullback to filling in the gap and having no buyers whatsoever and it pulling back even further. And that is why I emphasize doing your homework and having a strategy before entering this play. Don't rely on FOMO. That is the easiest way to get burned in the stock market. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential and is another reason why you want to keep this play close on your radar. The moment we have buying pressure coming in, this stock can make some strong moves. And what was very clear when we started testing and we got to that $4 level, there were many people who were taking profits since Mullen was on a strong uptrend. So just knowing this, if we end up having a spike again, you're going to want to be cognizant of that. You want to have a strategy in the sense of making sure that you're protecting your initial investment. You don't want to be giving up all these opportunity cost bag holding. Have a strategy. I know I sound like a broken record here, but I'm getting a lot of messages and people are like, man, I'm hoping for this stock to go up. I'm like, stop hoping. Have a strategy and follow it through. So taking in all the factors that I discussed in this video, the most important one has to be that volume. We've been seeing the volume dying down in this stock. And the reason why we had a lot more volume on the Friday, because more people were selling. This is what happens when you have a lot of retail investors that are inside of the play. A lot of them bought in and they're like, hey, I'm not trying to hold this bag for too long. Or you know what, this stock is selling off. I'm going to get out before it gets worse. And that's why you're seeing this stock price being beaten down. And we saw this from the order flow for the past 5 trading days. There was a tremendous amount of selling pressure. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I can't wait to see how the stock performs for the coming week. We'll talk soon.